I got the need for a little dirt tracking. 1972 Plymouth Satellite. Been sitting behind this shop for about, I don't know, a month. Been stealing all kinds of parts off of it. Let's put her back together. Let's get her fired back up. She's roasted. Let's take her for a rip in the dirt. My name's Brad, and this is Poor Boy's Garage. No turning back now. All right, we pulled the 72 Sassy around. We gotta make sure she's clean for the dirt track because I wouldn't want no debris inside the car or anything like that. So we're gonna clean her out. We're gonna see what she needs. I'm gonna show you how bad this car really is. I know you guys at home are like, man, you can restore that car. This one's got some bad frame rails in it, and I'll show you when I get it on the lift. So let's go ahead and clean her out. Let's get her ready, see if we can't start her back up and have a little fun. So basically just all the panels that were inside the car. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save those because this was a parts car for us. And I'll make sure I put them in the shed so they don't get messed up when we do take it around and do a couple twisty burnouts. So we got her up in the air and let's do a tour of the underneath, and I'm gonna show you why this thing ended up being a parts car. My buddy, Larry, ended up going to Virginia to get this car, about a 7-hour ride. And when he got there, it ended up being way worse than what we were thinking when we looked at the pictures. And that happens all the time with pictures. So instead of just not grabbing the car and coming all the way back with an empty trailer, he just said, hey, I'm just gonna grab it. Parts car for his 71 Roadrunner, the Sassy Grass Green one that I did. And just been sitting out here, and I said, hey man, let's do a dirt track video and let's see if we can't get this thing going again. So your basic 8 1/4 rear, nothing crazy. I'm thinking about welding these, which I've never done before, and welding the spider gears and just making it a posi car, because that's a little bit more fun when you're dirt tracking than a one-wheel peel. Everybody knows that. And so I've been kind of doing some research on how to do it. It doesn't look that hard, and I might try it. That'll be the first time I've done that. Because these 8 1/4 rear ends, they're a dime a dozen with Mopar, and they're really not the sought after one like 8 3/4 of the Dana. So it doesn't bother me just to weld the gears up in it, because we get these rear ends around Poor Boys all the time. You could hardly even give them away. So doesn't hurt my feelings. Here's what does hurt my feelings. They put the frame extensions on it, welded it up, which is fine, it's cool, but what I'm thinking is underneath here, the way this thing's rusted so bad, is they're probably got big holes in the frame rails, which is common on the Mopar we get around here, but they tried alleviating some of the pain by putting the frame extensions on it. Which, you know, I don't think it's gonna break in half or anything. I think it'll be fine for just what we're doing, a couple rips around the dirt track. But, you know, when you see these under a car, you gotta sometimes, as I do, and know how bad these Mopar frame rails rust out, I start wondering, what were they covering up right here? But whatever, it is what it is now. We're gonna run the boat tank in it. Obviously this tank's trashed. And let's see what else. So pans are trashed. We've seen that. I think you guys seen that in a few of the other vids that I was doing when I was cleaning the car, which is common. They're gone. You can see I can stick my hand through them. So just more common stuff on these Mopar when they've been sitting forever. But other than that, we got the big drum brakes on the front. I pushed the pedal down and it's going to the floor. That tells me it's just out of fluid, could have a leak somewhere. So if I could get a couple brakes working, I'd obviously feel a little bit more comfortable. But I was thinking at first that the brake booster was frozen, and then once you get a frozen brake pedal, you know pretty much you got to change out the brake master cylinder, I should say. But this one went right to the floor, so we'll see. Maybe I just will get lucky and put a bunch of brake fluid in it, and they may come back to life. I don't know. That's if I get real lucky. So this was the gas tank. And this car here, guys, I don't want you to think that it hasn't ran in, 20 years and all that stuff that all of us YouTubers are doing. Car hasn't ran in 30 years, will it run and drive? That's always fun too. But this car here was, it fired up right off the trailer, and I parked it back there probably over a month ago, and then, like I said, slowly been stealing small things off of it here and there. But she smoked like a freight train, and she's probably running off 6 cylinders, so all that stuff that comes into play. So I'm going to put some plugs in it. I'm thinking about, if you remember my yellow truck, my yellow 79 D100 that I pulled out of that gentleman's yard down the street, that ended up being a parts candidate for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now I think I've had that. And but what was nice about that 318 is it had a 4-barrel intake on it with a thermoquad. So what I'm kind of kicking around in my mind is get this little 2-barrel off, this little 2-barrel intake manifold, put the 4-barrel on, put one of my old funky Hollies that I got out in the shed back there on, and just see if we could get a little bit more out of her to have a little more fun. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking the intake off. I'll pull the plugs, go up to Advanced Auto, go see my boy Brian, give him a list, and then we can start getting down and dirty with this. All right, so we got the 4-barrel intake on from the 79 truck outside. I don't know if you can see it out there. Anyway, that thing's been great for just parts and stuff. and bolts and stuff I need all the time. So what else? I'm gonna start putting everything back together a little bit here. I kind of want to let the silicone set up overnight before I do anything crazy, like put water in it or anything. That's usually how I roll. But I have a basket full of thermoquads, and I don't really run thermoquads on these cars. I usually just run Hollies and sometimes Edelbrocks. But I'm trying to keep the cost low because it is just kind of like a fun dirt track mess around car. And so I might pull one of them thermoquads. I got about 10 to choose from and see if any of them still work or if they're going to leak all over, or I don't know. So that's the truck. You guys remember that video. Basically, we got it running, driving, smoked like a freight train, and ended up using parts off of it. Let's see. So, I got a Holly. I got another Holly. I got another Holly. These are those ones with the vacuum secondaries, which I don't really like. I got this crappy 750 Edelbrock that I can never get to work right. And I got a basket full of thermoquads. Some of these are 440 thermoquads too. I looked up the number. So what I might do is grab one of these. This one looks like it's like brand new. Just looks like it's got rust. It's been rusting from sitting. So I don't know. Look at the butterflies on this. They're like perfect. I don't know. I'll try it. I mean, I'll try to run a thermoquad. Just, I mean, what's it matter at this point? So maybe they're all bad. Maybe I could grab maybe this one's good. I don't want to crack any of these open. I just want to like plug and play. I don't want to deal with no drama. So I guess we could do that. Let's take this in. Well, at least didn't have no dirt in it or nothing, so we're good there. All right, so the next thing I want to do is just run this boat tank. And I love these boat tanks because when you're in a bind or you got these old fuel tanks that come out of these cars, about 90% of them are no good. With this, you can just bypass everything. You don't have to wait to get a new tank right off the bat unless it's a car you know you're really keeping or that you want to, you know, do it all the right way, you know, keep it all original or whatever. But these things are about $60 advanced auto, and it was worth every penny. And what I do is in these old cars that were just like this one, dirt tracking, I'm just gonna strap it in real good, and I run the hose. Usually I always got a hole in the floor somewhere on these old cars that are roasted like this one, and I'll just poke it right through the hole, and then I'll pick it up on the fuel line going to the front. So we got the line broke, and what I like to do is, and I'm sure you guys all know this as well, is I like to shoot air through the line because sometimes they will have mud. These mud daubers get up in every little hole and they will plug it. Next thing you know, you'll be pulling your hair out trying to figure out why you're not getting fuel. So what my trick is, because I'm always a one-man show around here, I feel like anyway, so I'll stick just my air gun that I got. I'll put it right up in the line like that where I broke it. Then I just use a zip tie or electric tape works good too. Just go around it once. Then when you come over on this side, right here at the, they basically just took this off because the tank was bad in this. And they even left the little metal fuel filter on it, which I'm going to continue to use because those things work great. And then I just put my finger over the line and just make sure the air feels like it's flowing through the line, basically. And on this one, it's fine. I didn't even see no dust come out of it or anything. So from there, we'll just hook everything back up. And I'm really curious to see how these thermoquad's gonna work out. I don't know, I got 4 to choose from back there. I'm sure this one isn't gonna work, but I really wanna try a thermoquad. I've never had one on any of my Mopar. Usually I always go right to Holly or the Edelbrocks. And I know thermoquads, they have a love and hate relationship with Mopar guys. But I just wanted to try one because, you know, who cares about this car? And we'll see what we can do. We may not be able to pull it off. May have to throw one of my Hollies on there, but we'll try it. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna work. So let's hook up them fuel lines and let's see if this thing will pull any fuel. All right, gas is pulled up. We're good there. I'm gonna hook a line into it and we'll go from there. So as soon as I get it hooked up, I'll fire the camera back up and we'll see if this thermoquad's gonna fire. I do not think so. See what kind of fire this starts. I know this isn't gonna work. I don't even know why I'm jacking around. Just hoping for the best, I guess. Oh my gosh, it's squirting. It's squirting, I can't believe it. Probably getting no spark though. I'm not trusting that thermoquad at all. Hello? All right, I'm on my way, thanks. Cable guy's here. I gotta take a break. All right, cable guy's gone. We got internet back up. So I can make you guys some good YouTube videos. I think the only thing I see really about this is it's leaking on the bottom, but I don't know. We'll see if she'll start. Sometimes them gaskets seal, sometimes they don't. So I'm just gonna try to fire her up and see what she does. That thing ran pretty good. If it'll stay running, I don't know. Wasn't even that bad, really. It's actually pretty smooth for a thermoquad. I don't know if I could get her dialed in. If she's going to keep on dying on me, though, I'm not going to play that game. But I mean, this old thermoquad's been in this basket sitting in my shop. I grabbed it out of the top of a barn. So I don't know. We'll see. May have to adjust on it a little bit. If she fires right back up, though, we might get lucky. Yeah, here's the let the games begin now. Might be out of gas. Carburetor is, oh my Lord, has no snap on it. That's a thermoquad for you, I guess. All right, guys, 2 more days, so no, 1 more day Friday, we're trying to dirt track. It's Wednesday night. I got my butt whooped by this car today. We went through all the thermoquads. I left off with that one thermoquad that fired this car up. That was no problem, but it leaked. And then when I changed out another thermoquad, those leaked. And because they're just so old, like I said, I got those out of a barn. Hard telling how many years they've been in the barn, in a crate. So I just wanted to try them out. I was hoping for the best, but I had a feeling those weren't going to work out. So I ended up going with my Edelbrock, a bad Edelbrock I had, like bad meaning no good. And I opened it up, tried fixing it. There was a gasket laying there. I couldn't figure out where that went. So it worked great at first, and then it just started leaking gas down the barrels. So I guess that's where that gasket went, somewhere holding the fuel back from leaking down the front two barrels. Okay, so I went back to the Holley. I ended up having to get the plate to, on these old intake manifolds, you have to get the mod plate, so you could make it from an old AFB carb or an Edelbrock to a Holley, so it spreads the screws out a little bit. They had one up at AutoZone, so I grabbed that. Ended up throwing this old vacuum secondary Holley on that I don't like, but I just had it on the shelf. All right, so I almost forgot, since nobody decided to change the oil ever in this car, and I don't know what's up with that with these Mopar lately, but I think people forgot that oil changes are a necessity. Because there was another car not too long, I think it was my purple car. It was, they wouldn't change the oil, and that thing had a little pumped up motor in it, so. Anyway, so if we're gonna beat on her a little bit, nothing crazy, just a little dirt tracking, because this car is a beast. Might as well change the oil. Yeah, straight diesel. Don't taste no fuel in it. Tastes like oil though. Well, we'll see how bad I can mess this up. See if we can't weld these spider gears. All right. So what we'll do, there. All right, so what you want to do is weld it in an X pattern, from what I'm understanding. We'll tag it there, we'll tag it there, there. We'll flip it around, hit it again. And if you really want to be bad to the bone, you put a little plate right here and weld that in too. But I don't think we're gonna get that crazy. This thing ain't gonna get that nutty, so. Pretty solid tack on it, and then I ran out of weld. So, story of my life. I think we're good with that. I'd be highly surprised, being in the dirt, if this thing breaks this locker here, or breaks it apart and just starts having a bad day, but I think we're good. I think we penetrated them pretty good. Like I said, the best way to do is put a plate in here, and that's if you're really getting down, like getting crazy. But we're not going to get all that. We're not going to do all that today. All I'm going to do is put this plate back on, fill it up with some some heavyweight oil with a gear oil, and that'll be about it. I think it'll serve its purpose. I really do. All right, guys, we made it. My favorite place, Jeff and Stacy's house. 24 acres of nothing but dirt tracking with a 318 Mopar, of course, roasted. We're gonna get down with her. We're gonna see if we can make a couple laps. And I'm pretty good with the overheating. I think we got that part good, but we're gonna see. I haven't broke a Mopar yet, but today might be a first. So here we go. And I'm gonna be easy on her, I promise.
We're hanging at my place.
How in the heck are you gonna fix that?
It'll still drive.
Guys, we did. That was probably, if you've seen that 1955 Chevy video, and we had a good time doing that out here, but this car by far was the most fun because one, it was a family affair. We got to take everybody, and everybody had a chance to have fun with the car. Usually I'll break them, and but not the case because it's a 318 and those things just last forever. And they just take a beat down, and it was just fun. And this is just a stock 318. There's nothing crazy about it. So anyway, my name is Brad, Poor Boys Garage. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what we do. And also down at the description box below, we have our P.O. box. If you want to send us any fan mail or stickers, we always love doing those, without a doubt. Emails bradleyswrenchin@gmail.com. Don't forget to hit our Facebook, Poor Boys Garage, and then my daughter's running our Instagram at Poor Boys Garage _ and make sure you friend request all of us. So anyway, another great time. Awesome 72 Satellite. It's probably just gonna end up going back to my buddies, and you know, who knows, we'll see what happens from there. But until next time, and you know there'll be another a next time, believe me. And I'll see you later. And still, she fire right up like that too. That's just a stock 318 too. Just put a 4 barrel on it. That's all we did. Fun for days.